My name is Martin. I am the singer and guitar player in Transmission.
Beautiful. Thanks so much. Catching Up is a powerful track. What inspired it and how does it reflect the rest of Betterment?
Um, the inspiration really comes from just all the things that are happening in our world. There's a lot of frustrations. There's a lot of bad things happening in our world, and I feel like a lot of people kind of get stuck in their own little narrow window of their own lives and don't really pay attention to what's happening around the world. And so that's where it's, the lyrics of like, when it's out of sight and out of mind, that's easy if you don't care about what's happening. But eventually that's going to come back around and catch up with us. It's like whether it's environmental issues or civil issues, if we ignore these things and just focus on our own individual lives, things aren't going to get better and it's going to catch up to us.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
the rest of the EP, I mean, that's basically the theme across the board. Is just there's a lot of I have a lot of frustration with the lack of care that people put into their decisions on a daily basis. It's like we just tend to like worry about what we have to do in our own lives and without what the consequences are or how our decisions affect the rest of the world.
Yeah, definitely. And like the bigger picture, how our little actions can affect the bigger picture as well, I think.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
being individuals, it's like we can't change things individually, on the grand scale, but the only power we do have is the decisions we make every day with our money, how we spend our money. That's kind of the only real control we have. And since everything's rooted in money and greed anyways, that's like kind of the only way we can make a difference is paying attention to how we spend and who we spend our money with and where we contribute that. So it's like trying to take that extra step to really think about it when we're making those decisions is kind of the hope and the goal.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. A very strong and powerful message behind the album. And the title as well, Betterment, suggests growth. What kind of personal or creative changes shaped the EP?
Oh boy. Well, we've been a band for quite a while and we kind of just take things slow and we're just doing whatever feels natural. And our sound has kind of changed over the years and has progressed. And we started out with a bit more of like a kind of post rock instrumental vibe.
Yeah,
And over the years, myself personally, I've just always kind of wanted to like learn to sing more and better. And so I put in a lot of effort to try and do that. And so it just kind of naturally evolved into that where now we just have a bit more of like a vocal forward kind of alternative indie kind of sound. So um, it's kind of just this idea of trying to do better in all aspects and just trying to move forward, whether that's creatively or like we talked about, making a difference in the world or just trying a little bit harder, in all aspects. And that's just kind of where we ended up. And, it's quite a bit different. It's funny, we were listening to like our older material and just comparing and being like, wow, we totally sound like a different band, but we're
yeah.
all into it. It's been a lot of fun to trying different things and kind of still holding on to a little bit of the original sound. And yeah.
That's it. So do you think you've not found your sound? Because obviously you found your sound quite a while ago, but it's maybe changed for the better.
Yeah, I think so. I think over the years, we've always had some songs that were much softer and lighter and more tranquil. And then we've had some songs that were heavier and more aggressive. And we always kind of leaned towards more of the heavier songs.
Yeah,
A lot of us then come from like hardcore backgrounds and stuff. And so I think we just naturally gravitate towards that direction while still trying to incorporate all the layers of atmosphere and, melodies with the guitars and stuff. But yeah, I think when we play live, it's like we always tend to make a set list that's a little bit on the heavier side. So
yeah.
I think this new EP has a bit more of that.
Awesome. And how did working with Bo Birchall influence the sound or direction of the project?
Um, I've done many records with Bo, and I hope and pray that I can do every record from here on out with Bo because he's literally just the best person to work with. It's just always a good experience. He's so good at what he does, And it's interesting because he definitely helps mold the sound, but he's very open to just letting the band like do what we're going to do. He just kind of like picks up on what we're trying to do and goes, oh, maybe, go this direction or do this and that. And it's always like, it always feels like it's still us. I know some producers are very like involved where they're like, no, you have to completely change this, do something different. Bo doesn't do that. And he just like takes what we have and makes us sound way better than we are.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you could really like give him what you guys had, and then he could add his little sort of tweaks or whatever in there.
Yeah, exactly. And Bo is so like musically talented and diverse that he can kind of just like adapt to whatever band's doing their thing. It's not like it just has to be Bo's sound. It's like
Yeah.
he adapts to the band and like just really helps us enhance what we're doing.
Yeah, that's wicked. And post rock relies heavily on atmosphere. How do you keep structure and emotion balanced in your writing?
I think for us, we've always been kind of a live feel type of writing band. And so these songs, similarly to our previous stuff, has all been just like product of us getting together and jamming together.
Yeah.
And so it's just like kind of going off a feel. I think the only difference now is like now I'm in the back of my head going, okay, at some point I'm going to have to try and sing over this. So how do we kind of structure that to make it make sense?
Yeah.
But generally, we're just going off feel and like what feels right, how many times we're doing something, how many times things repeat, what kind of changes, crescendos, heavy parts, whatever. It's all just like us in the studio together, kind of jamming, feeling it out.
Yeah. That's awesome. And because you guys do have that more live aspect or feel, does it take you a really short amount of goes to get a song to where it feels right?
It's across the board. Some of them are just like come very quickly and naturally, and we're just like, I guess that's it. I
Yeah.
guess we're done. And then other ones, it's like, man, something just doesn't feel right. Let's try a different bridge. Let's try and change this up. Maybe it's the speed. Maybe it's the effects we're using, whatever. And sometimes it really takes a lot of extra changing and draft work, but it's across the board.
Yeah. Yeah. And were bands like Mogwai and Sigur Rós direct influences for you guys?
Especially early on. Yeah. I wanted to do this band when I had just been kind of spending a lot of time in the hardcore scene and playing hardcore music and stuff. And I've always loved post rock. And I was just like, man, I just really want to like get on the lighter side and be playing some atmospheric stuff with a ton of delay and reverb and stuff. And at that time, I was listening to a lot of like Explosions in the Sky, Sigur Rós, Mogwai, Caspian, like all kinds of stuff like that. And I just like, asked a few friends, hey, anybody want to play stuff like this? And like a few of my friends, the guys that are in the band, were like, oh yeah, I would love to do that. And so we just got together and started playing.
Yeah, that's awesome. And is there any bands at the moment that you're really impressed by? They don't have to be within the same genre as you guys, but yeah, what bands are you liking at the moment?
Um, wow, across the board. I think all the last few records that Touche Amore has put out have just been phenomenal. Um, I've been listening to a lot of like singer songwriters and stuff. There's this guy Daryl Ron who does this kind of like alt country, like the alternative, if you will.
That's cool.
It's weird. It's like kind of like alternative folk, but then there's like some slide guitar and banjo and stuff. But it's not country. It's like adjacent, and it's just
Yeah.
I just think he's a great songwriter. Um, I actually got turned on to an Australian band recently, Press Club.
Club, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that band is awesome, and I
Yeah.
really love their new record. I've been listening to a lot of different stuff. As far as like influential bands that have like kind of influenced our sound, um, I think that Thrice would be a big influence on kind of our more modern sound, and just any sort of like post-hardcore, Citizen, Basement, things like that.
Yeah, awesome. And what was the concept behind the video of catching up?
Well, I've had this kind of strong feeling that it's really hard to do sort of a video treatment of like a storyline unless you have a full production and really good, you know, like writing for that portion and acting and all of these things. You're basically making a small movie. And I feel like as far as a DIY video goes, it's really hard to pull that off. So we kind of knew early on we just wanted to do like a very simple performance video, but we wanted it to be shot in kind of a clean space. And so we found this photo studio in LA. Our friend Shane Smith came down. We said like, hey man, we just want to get some shots and do your thing, like whatever you think will look cool. And so we just set up and played through the song a bunch of times. And it's funny, there was like a moving roundabout on the floor. And we were like, oh, that's kind of funny. It would be funny if we like got some shots of us spinning around on the spinning floor.
Yeah.
And so we did, and that ended up kind of being the shots that we liked the most. And those are in the video quite a bit.
So that's how you did it. It was like a spinning plate on the floor.
The whole entire floor was on a motor and it would spin.
Mad. That's awesome.
I never think. I mean, it makes sense for like video or photo shoots and stuff like that. Like, they can actually pull cars on it, park the car on there, and spin the car around. And we're like, oh, let's go for it. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah,
it was just so fun. The part that we thought was going to be cheeky or funny as like a joke ended up being kind of the coolest shots. So.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And how do you know when a song is finished? We've kind of talked about this already, but how do you know when a song is finished, especially in a genre built on layering and dynamics?
It's a great question. It's just the feel, it's like, obviously when you're in a band with a bunch of people, there's compromise, and it's finding the point where everyone is happy enough. We always talk about it as a band and saying like, hey, don't just give in. Don't just say like, yeah, it's fine, I'll play that, whatever. If you don't like it, like, let's just keep working on it until everybody's happy.
Yeah.
So once we get to that point, everyone goes, yeah, like that feels good. Let's roll with that. That's when we call it, and so it's just kind of iterations and people, and a lot of times it really has to do with that individual's part. They might not be happy with just what they're playing. So we'll just keep playing it until they make a new part, add a new layer, whatever it is, until everybody feels like, yep, that's it.
Yeah. And with the writing especially, is that something that is really just personal to you, or does everyone else also have a say in that?
As far as the lyrics?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the majority is coming from me, but I definitely share it with the group and make sure that there's nothing in there that anybody is
unhappy with,
not agreeing with, or they can't stand behind. It's like, putting it out there into the world, it's like everyone's being represented. So trying to make sure that I'm not misrepresenting anyone else's views or feelings, and I think generally we're aligned on that.
Yeah. And what's been the biggest challenge you've faced so far as a group?
I would say consistency. We're just, we're getting older. Some guys have kids, some are business owners. Everyone's really busy. So it's just hard to like have the consistency of playing a lot. And like, so, everything takes longer, when we're writing, it takes longer because we're not getting together as often. And so we're, sometimes it feels like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's like, wait, what did we do last time? I remember somebody had this part that we really liked, and what was it? Like remember. So I'd say that's it. But we've been playing a long time, and it's kind of like when we get together, it feels like it just gels, and we're able to have fun and play cool music.
And how did you all meet? Because I know it was way back in the earlier 2000s. That's crazy that you guys have been going for so long.
Yeah. So Daryl and I, the bass player in Transmission, him and I were in a hardcore band in like the late 90s, early 2000s together. And then Daniel Cardoza, the other guitar player, my old band played with his old hardcore band. And so we were friends through that. We worked together. And then the drummer, we just knew through mutual people. And then the only person that I had not known for a long time was Jerome, the other guitar player, but he's been friends with Garrett, the drummer, for a long time. So when we were getting together, we were playing, and Garrett just suggested Jerome could be a good fit. He came on, and he was just an awesome dude and great guitar player. And so we're like, yeah, this is perfect.
That's so cool. So it seems like the community was kind of tight-knit, and you all sort of knew someone that knew someone.
Yeah, I think that's generally the case in music. Most music scenes, it's like there are always people from other bands, and
Oh, that's wicked. And do you see yourself sticking with post rock or evolving into other sounds over time?
Um, I could see us continuing on with the sound that we're kind of going with on Betterment. It just feels like kind of in our wheelhouse and a culmination of like everything we've done in the past kind of got us to this point, and it just kind of feels natural. And I don't know, we'll see what happens, but
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine us veering too far off from that or going too much of a different path. It's like this just kind of feels right and makes sense.
Yeah. And I feel like you guys have already as well experimented away from your earlier sound. But while, as you said, you also still incorporate that earlier sound, but you have, explored other areas.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we would go much heavier than this. It's like we all play in hardcore bands still, and so we kind of scratch that itch over there.
Yeah.
And I don't think we would go much lighter because we kind of already did that and felt like we always wanted to go a little heavier. So it just this feels like right in the middle, the
Middle.
sweet spot for us. So.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And who takes the longest to get ready before a show, and what exactly are they doing that entire hour?
Uh,
Is
that's
it
probably
you?
me. Yeah, because I'm just not. The vocals are like singing is so hard. It doesn't come naturally for me. It's
Yeah.
like it takes a lot of effort and a lot of work. I'm
Mhm.
not just like a natural singer. So it's something that I've been learning over the years, and it just takes so much like kind of warming up and practice and all this stuff to like do that. I've had a lot of fun learning and like getting to where I am right now, but it's definitely a lot of work, and I'm very jealous of those people that can just naturally sing so easily. And I
I
wish I
know.
had that, but I don't. So I have to really,
Freaks of
prepare and
nature.
try and put a lot of work into it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so obviously there's a lot of prep before and after a show. Do you have to recover and really take care of your voice as well after a show?
Yeah. I think it depends too on like all of the contributors. Like, can I hear myself? Like when you can hear yourself really well, like in a studio setting, it's much easier. It's like you can just hit all the notes you want to do. It's like way easier. But in a live setting, sometimes you can't hear things, like your
Ah,
in-ears are bad or the monitors are not working or whatever it may be. And it just kind of like changes the whole dynamic, and you're trying to push harder to be louder to like hear yourself better. And so it really just depends on all that,
all that,
but
yeah.
yeah, if it's a situation where I can hear everything and it's good, then it's no problem. But sometimes that's not the case, and it's more strenuous.
Yeah, yeah. I never thought about that. And have there been any fan reactions online or at shows that really stick with you or have made you reflect on the impact of your music?
Us to play one of our songs or a piece of our song in their wedding as they walk down the aisle.
Oh,
And that was to me, that was like super touching. I was just like, wow, you like this melody that we made so much that you want to walk down the aisle to it. Like that's crazy.
oh,
It was like a really stripped down version of equipment, small equipment, but had like a full live band. And we played the song like while they walked down the aisle, and I was like, I'll never forget that. It was really,
that's
really cool.
beautiful. Do you know which song it was?
I can't remember the name. It was off of our second EP, yeah. But it was just like this one bridge, and it's like a really pretty guitar part, and like really kind
Yeah.
of like atmospheric and pretty, and it made sense for the setting, and I just never really thought about that. But it was really cool to like get that request, like all the
Yeah.
songs you can pick for your wedding.
Yeah.
They were like, "Hey, we want you to come play live as I walk down the aisle." I was like, "Okay, awesome."
That's beautiful. Oh, that's so, I wish I had that idea. And do you have any tour plans after the EP drops? Can we hope to see you in Australia?
Oh man, that would be great. No big plans right now. It's just kind of one of our members just had a baby, and then another member is having a baby at the beginning of the year. So as far as playing live, it's kind of things are on hold for a
Gonna
bit.
be, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, would love to come to Australia someday.
Oh, beautiful. Have any of you guys ever been here before?
um, I have not.
Yeah.
I believe a couple of the members have, yeah, but I have not been there. It's high on my list.
Yes. Yeah. Beautiful. And Do you know what you'd like to experience once you do hopefully finally get over here?
Um, I Surfing is a big part of my life,
Oh
and
wow,
I
yeah.
really love to spend a bunch of time like cruising up and down the coast in like a camper van with a bunch of surfboards and just like experience all the nature and all the awesome surf spots and stuff. It's that's
Oh,
definitely a dream. And that's why I think that's why I haven't gone yet because I'm like I need to go when I can like have a month there, like
when you
in a
can.
van, and just spend some time, not like 1 week and you
Yes,
know.
yeah, exactly. No, exactly. That's awesome. Martin, congratulations on catching up. We're loving it. We hope to see you guys over here soon. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Have a good one.